All of the resources that we're going to be using are inside of the Etsy Hub for Interoperability and Verification, or Validation, sorry, which is Hive. So that is a global network of interconnected sites throughout the world. The two main sites we're going to be using are the primary site in Etsy and an additional set of servers on loan from Canonical that are located in London. So basically, we're going to be using services in France and in England, UK. So what does it look like? There is one common Hackfest management server. This is the only thing that you're going to be communicating with. You're going to SSH to this IP address. You're going to be able to log in with the OSM Hackfest number that we're going to be picking up in the spreadsheet. Once you're in here, you're going to have environment variables set for you already. You're going to be able to talk with one of two open source MANOs, either .9 or .10, depending upon what participant ID that you end up picking. And each one of them will talk with one single OpenStack instance, which is the Horizon dashboard is at 18.18, and one Kubernetes, which is at 248.18. So the OSM instance that you have has been already set up and configured so that it knows where OpenStack is and where Kubernetes is. So everything has been set up for your tenants already. We're not going to need to do much configuration there. This shared instance, here's where you log into. You can run OpenStack commands remotely from there. The OpenStack clients are present. You can run OSM commands remotely. The OSM client has been installed. And I should have added one more. You can also take a look at Kubernetes remotely. The Kubernetes kubeadmin has been installed. So yeah, you'll be able to run all your commands remotely. So first thing is the Google spreadsheet for the sign up. So we'd like to go to this here. Here is the spreadsheet. Your VPN access, you're not going to be able to use any of these resources if you don't have a VPN. So that's something, you know, all of these OSM instance, firewall IP, the management VM 1.3, you won't be able to reach that unless you have a VPN. So the question was, how do you access the OSM instance? The first way is by going and SSHing to 172.21.1.3. The username will be the username here that you've signed up for, and the password is the same as the username. So in this case here, we're looking at OSM Hackfest number 31. I would say SSH OSM Hackfest 31 at 172.21.1.3. And when it prompts for the password, my password would be OSM Hackfest 31. SSH OSM Hackfest 31 at 172.21.1.3. And the password is OSM, if I could type OSM Hackfest 31. And I'm in. So from here I can do OSM commands, OSM vim list, and I can see I already have a vim. So these are the two ways that you can access your OSM instance. One is, as I mentioned, via the CLI. If you take a look at your environment variables, we have, here, sorry, let me just sort this. We have a series of OpenStack environment variables, and we have a series of OSM environment variables. And we have Kubernetes as well, but I will show that in a moment. The other way to access OSM is by going to a dashboard. And here we log in as OSM Hackfest 25, OSM Hackfest 25. And here we can see the OSM web UI. From here, we can see there's already a Vim account created. Then we can also access your OpenStack tenant. And I'll put that in the Slack channel as well. And it's the same username and password that you use there. Or if you happen to have logged in from into the OSM jump host, the common management that we use, you can say, OpenStack flavor list or OpenStack image list, which should return empty right now. Oh, no, sorry, image list. Yes, these are, I was thinking I typed server list. Image list shows what images are available to be deployed as VIMs. Can you access OpenStack environment from the browser? Yes, you can. That would be right here, 18.18. And you put in OSM Hackfest 59 or whatever ID you happen to pick up, and you sign in that way. And here you can see what instances you have, your overview from the dashboard. You're allowed to use up to 10 instances. We allow you to use 64 CPUs, 128 gig of RAM, floating IPs, security groups, etc. We should be able to access your cluster. And I had decided to make things a little simpler. We don't even need this. You can just do a kube control get pods -a, and you should be able to see all of the pods that are running inside of Kubernetes right now. Yes, so 1.9 and 1.10 are the two OSM instances. So you're going to be able to access the open source MANO dashboard from 1.9 and 1.10. That's not the OpenStack over here or Kubernetes. So these two, I know for sure that's part of the VPN routing table. So we're going to be able to, you'll be able to get access to that, no problem. So what is OSM going to orchestrate? It's going to orchestrate a virtual infrastructure manager, which is Canonical OpenStack based on Usari, which is the one that's not currently visible at 18.18, but is accessible through the network with OpenStack server list or OpenStack flavor list. There is a Kubernetes cluster. And if you're logged into your tenant, you should be able to do these two commands, OSM Vim list and OSM Kate's cluster list, and you should be able to see content. So the fact that OSM has these enabled and is operational enabled, operational state enabled, everything enabled, means that we're going to be able to continue with the rest of the Hackfest. We just can't see the pretty UI of OpenStack right now. So one other thing, we have a common repository of scripts set up for everyone. So when you're logged into your tenant inside of the common server 1.3, and if you do a list of the home directory, Hackfest directory, you'll see there are scripts for things to do there. I went ahead and added content for upcoming sessions, but please don't go and just start running commands, because things might get, something might not work or get broken, and then your environment is not as clean, and it can cause confusion and then delays while we help sort you out, and everyone else needs to wait for that. So don't go running ahead into that right now. The one thing that we can do, though, is if you go into Hackfest 1.2, oops, did I put anything in here? Oh, yes, the git clone command. So I'm not going to do this as 28, because 28 is an actual valid user. So if I log in as my instructor account, OSM instructor, sorry. So if I log in here, I happen to have had OSM packages. Yeah, the OSM packages already created. So I'll just go ahead and move that out of the way. OSM packages to temp. So I have a clean directory here. If I go hackfest / HD1.2 preparation git clone, this is a command that I'd like everybody to run from their home directory right now, is this HD1.2 git clone. This is going to download all of the descriptors that we have for anything from our automation test suite to previous Hackfests to all sorts of different stuff. So there is a lot of content in here. It is visible through, oh, I didn't put it in here. Some packages is right here. And I believe this was linked in the main page as well of the Hackfest, so that everybody can take a look at that. So here is all of the source code for more things than we are going to be using this week. There's a lot of different examples in here. So you can feel free to take a look around at some of the things that are there. But for now, we're asking, don't just go and start instantiating stuff in your environment, because we want to keep it clean and free to go. So you should have had output that looks like this. And when you take a look at your OSM packages directory, you should see all of these files. You have to be in your home directory. You cannot go into the shared folder. So if you take a look at your home directory here, so just type in CD and hit enter. Now you're in your home directory. And if you take a look, Hackfest is actually a pointer to one common place. You will get permission denied if you try and do anything inside the Hackfest folder. So yes, everything you do must be in your home directory, not under the Hackfests. So this is our week ahead. We have OSM up and running. OSM is aware of OpenStack, and it is aware of Kubernetes. I'll just present this here. So this was the existing cloud environment that we had. And we have now updated OSM so that it's aware of OpenStack and Kubernetes. We are going to be launching the services, but for right now, my animations are out. All that should exist is the firewall. So in here, you should be able to say OpenStack server list, and you should be able to see your firewall that was set up for you by your security department. Okay, so this firewall, you can see, has an external IP address and a private network IP address. Now, remember I said this is a PNF, or a physical network function. I'll be getting more into this later. Yes, it is a VM running right now, but it is also a physical network function. And I'll explain why that it's both virtual and physical, because those are two different ways of looking at the world. I'll explain that in the P&F session later on today. But for right now, you should be able to go ahead and SSH either from home or from your jump host right to this. So you should be able to SSH OSM at, and then the IP address you were given. Password is OSM-2021. And we are now into our firewall. There isn't a whole lot you can do here. You can type config and say show config. Sorry, just show. I'm not all that good with my BIOS commands. But you should be able to see some information about your firewall configuration in here. We're not going to be performing any config through the command line. That's actually going to be done through the Ansible scripts later on. But this is just a checkpoint to make sure that you can actually access your environment. Yeah. Show config. Yes, that's it. So you can either enter the configuration environment or just straight from SSH first. You can just say show config and you should be able to see some configuration information. There we are, lunch break until 1400 CET. But like I said, we're all still here.